We're going to start on my Mazda Tribute, see if we can figure out what's wrong with the engine. Coming up next. So this is my 05 Mazda Tribute that I picked up for basically scrap price. I have hardly any money in this car. I'm sure you've seen it on a couple shorts of me talk about it a few times. It's dirty. It's really dirty. But I mean, this car is like, if there is probably the only body damage on the whole car is that little ding right there. And it's not bad. There's a scratch right here. And then, you know, there's a place on one of the bumpers, I think, and this little piece of plastic's missing right here, and I think a heat gun will bring that out. And the body of this thing, though, is really, really clean. There might be another little, yeah, there's a little ding right there. It's not bad. And there's a crack on this bumper. But, you know, it's an 05 model. You know, there's a little place right there. It's an 05 model. And I got this thing for less than $500 maybe, if that. I don't remember. It was cheap, and you know, we had to tow it home and everything. But inside of the little thing, obviously it needs cleaned up, and there's some stuff they left inside it. But I mean, you know, it's just dirty, but there's nothing wrong with it. And it's got 89,000 miles, I'm pretty sure. I mean, realistically, once we clean this thing up and figure out and get the motor running, this is going to be a nice little car. Now we're going to clean the garbage out of it. We're going to have to wash it. It's dirty. That's just tree sap though. It'll all come off. It's got pretty good tires, but now they're old. They've been on it for a while. They leak down air when they set for a long time, but if you're driving it every day, I don't think they would. So, well, they parked this thing because something happened to the motor. And they didn't know what. So let's pop the hood of it and check that out and see what we got. We'll have to polish these headlights, you know, just detail it body wise is all that's real wrong with the thing. So let's pop this hood. Alright, so here it is under the hood. It's now the bad thing about this car, it is a 2.3 4-cylinder and it's front wheel drive. So it's not the most upscale version. And one other thing we do got to fix when we figure out what's wrong with the motor, somebody stole the catalytic converter, cut the O2 sensor off. They cut it right here at the tube. So we're going to have to buy this whole manifold and put back in it. Now, I'm not really concerned if a catalytic converter's in it. We can put an O2 spacer in it because we don't have emissions testing here in Kentucky. But we've got to do something. We can't just leave it bare like that. Look at that. They cut it right off at the manifold where it comes out from the block. So apparently the previous owner said they come out and found it gone. So metal thieves are crazy. Last time I looked at this thing too, I got a wasp stinging me. So good thing is winter and they're all gone. So that's a good thing. This probably could use replaced, or we probably won't even worry about it though, really. First thing I want to do is I want to pull the plugs out of this thing, see if we can figure out what's going on with the engine. Maybe we can look down the plugs and see if we see any kind of issues there. Then if we don't see that, I'm probably going to lift the thing up with the lift, and we'll pull the oil pan off it. Now the cool thing about these are you can take the whole oil pan off. You have nothing in your way whatsoever. It's just completely open at the oil pan. So that's one good thing about having the 4-cylinders. There's nothing to do to get the oil pan off other than take the bolts out. So they said it started making a racket. They quit driving it. It does have like a thumping sound we could hear in it. Sound like it didn't have and don't know what it is. Could be in the bottom motor, it could be a rod bearing, could be something in the top of the motor. I'm not sure. So first rule of thumb here, take the plugs out. We'll get the hood light in here and we'll take the plugs out and see what we got. All right, so these guys are good old 8mm. Been on there for a minute. And they're studs. It's kind of weird. Kind of different. We'll take all these off. So, take these coil packs off. And we'll pull these plugs out. And see what we got down in here with the scope. So I'm going to get these out. And we'll come back at you. So the caps are out. They're pretty clean. But I am seeing some, it looks like oil. Or maybe some water down in there. I'm not sure. I'm going to get a light that can see down in there. That looks like oil to me though. Let's see. Yeah, there's something down in there. I don't sure. So hopefully it's not water. Because this thing's not been, that's oil. Yeah, that's oil. So, well, let me get a plug wrench or a plug socket. And we'll take these plugs out. See what they look like. And then we'll scope down in here. There's one plug out. I'm seeing a ton of oil. And those are gone. So, I'm not sure what we got there. Could be something in this head gone, like a seal or something like that, or the valves. So, we'll go ahead and get the others out. So, we're going to get all the plugs out and see what we got. But they were soaked and wore out, so I'm not sure. Now this plug was worse than the others. The other one, for some reason. And it smells mostly oil. There might be a little gas in it. But it smells mostly like oil. Got 2 more to take out. Now, I'm wondering. Now, I have seen on a Chrysler before, on a Plymouth 4-cylinder, that there's a seal that goes around these plugs. And those will blow out sometimes and let oil get around these. And these cars will miss and may crack it and everything. Be great if that's all it is, because they're like $10 and it'd be an easy fix. Other than their, $100 and some for the exhaust manifold and welding the exhaust back in. So hopefully that's all it is. We may have a head failure in some way. That's a lot of oil to be on plugs. So it could be that. I don't know. We'll keep digging into it and see. But I'm showing you each plug as I'm taking them out, but just because, man, they're terrible. Here's another one, same way, just coated in oil. There's somebody there pulling my rubber boot out of my spark plug socket. So, there one burn up, so we have to have new plugs, obviously. We'll get the last one out and run the scope down in it. This one was actually the worst one yet. I didn't get a video of it because I had to take a rag to even get it out of the cup. But yeah, so all 4 of these are soaked with oil. So that means we've got something going on where oil is probably not moving. We could have just a timing chain failure. I don't know. We might have to take the valve cover off here in a minute and see. This timing chain was broke. It's just gonna let oil pump up in there and let the valve stay open. So that could be an issue too. We'll check that. Take the valve cover off and see if the timing chain might be broke here in a minute too after we scope it. I don't have a lot of juice in this endoscope right now, so. Yeah, I can't see nothing but oil in there. Well, I'm going to guess we probably got a ring failure. With that much oil. That means we're probably going to be putting rings in this guy. It's full of oil. I already tell you what's wrong with it. And that probably means that they didn't take good care of this motor on oil changes. So that means we're probably going to have to pull the head off of it, put rings in it. That much oil means down in the scope. We'll look down in here one more time. This piston. See if we can get all the way down in the piston hole here. So we're down in the piston hole here. And you can see it's just, well, I jerked it back out. We don't have much scratches, it don't look like. Maybe some scoring I can't see. That much oil on top means probably bad rings. So what we'll probably have to do is put new rings in it and dingle ball it. So we probably can do it still inside the car. I'm hoping I don't have to pull the whole engine, but I think we can take the head off and then take the oil pan off and pull everything out instead of pulling this whole engine. We might be better off just buying a whole good engine. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's definitely the rings with that much oil not sealing. So I'm going to say they've run it dry on oil, or they've not been changing the oil right or something like that just to get the oil, get it that bad. So yeah, so it's definitely not a rod bearing in the bottom. I mean, it could still have rod bearings gone bad, and it could have just rings. So either A, buy another 2.3 now. The bad thing is the Ranger, these 2.3s have a little difference than the Ranger and the Focus ones, or maybe just the Ranger ones. So we had to get one from a front wheel drive vehicle. I do know that. So not sure what we're going to do. I'm probably going to go ahead and take this valve cover off and maybe pop the head off here in a little bit. I'm not sure how far we're going to get into it tonight. But yeah, we definitely got that much oil on top of the pistons. That means we got ring failures. So we pretty much know what we're up against now. So that means we either get on Facebook and look around, find a used 2.3, which probably ain't that hard to do, but I don't want to put a whole ton of money in this thing. Or we buy the rings for this thing, see what the rings are going to cost, and hone it out and everything like that, and put new rings in it. So we'll go check all that, see what our best option is. But that's it for this little guy for the night. So probably going to have to see what we got to do first. We may end up having to pull this whole engine, I'm not sure, and have it machined or bored out just a little bit and put bigger size rings in it. If we can get them, I don't know what parts we can get for one of these and what we can't. We just have to look at our best options for that. So I'm bored, and I went ahead and pulled the valve cover off just to look at the camshaft. Now there's a little wear on this front one. I swear it ain't bad. It don't feel like any lobes are gone or anything. So cams look pretty good. Now I'm not sure I'm gonna go on into the head tonight. Probably will pull the fuel rail off next right quick and just set it out of the way, because it's just 2 bolts. And then we can look at the intake, see what we need to pull it off. Not sure how you change the timing chain. The timing chain on this thing's in good shape though. It's not got a bit of slack in it if you can't see. So yeah, lifters all look pretty good. All that stuff. The toe top of the head looks really good shape. We'll have to take the cams out to pull the head off. We might be able to see better down in there now. I've got the scope charging a little bit, so we might be able to even see even better what we got. that much oil though. We know the rings are probably spitting oil. If not, the valve cover was gone, one of the two. Like I said, there's the valves and everything. They don't have lifters. I said lifters a while ago, but they're, I guess they are lifters, but they sit right on top of the valves versus, you know, push rod engines is the way they work. So they do have lifters. Some dirt right there got in that one. We'll clean that off. But this part, all the head all looks pretty good. So it's definitely probably the rings that are shot. Yeah, it's weird they use Torx bolts on those, so I've got that size, but we'll have to take it loose. How much more do I want to tear down tonight? That's the question. Now we can take that fuel rail off right there with those two bolts, and all the injectors and everything will come off. And then we can look at the not sure how the timing chain comes out of one of these. Used to working on a rear wheel drive, so I'd say that motor mount has to come out, and I'll have to read online how those timing chains come off of that. Which really, like I said, this one's not bad. As long as we don't move anything, we should be good there. If we take the gears off, but we'll see. It's the best way to take the head off this thing. I'd say we'll have to take the whole chain out to come out, the head to come off, though. So I'll have to figure out how that comes apart. And then we'll have to probably pull it up in the air like I mentioned on the lift here and take the oil pan off. And then we'll have to unbolt everything from the bottom. Now I'm going to try to do it inside the car if I can. Like I said, I don't feel like pulling all this transmission and everything, so. If I can. I'm not sure that I really can do it without pulling the motor. But, I mean, you do have two tabs here you can take on. Either way, this intake and stuff, all that has to come out to get this out. There's no way to clear it. So, it's not that big a deal. Okay, so I've been online looking. Found 2 or 3 engines within an hour or two of me with 80, 90,000 miles on them that have nothing wrong with them for $500. And it really ain't worth it putting the money into this engine. We can pull the parts out of this engine and sell them, what we don't use, and buy one of those engines. So maybe next weekend we go look for us an engine, depending on how everything is with my father-in-law. We might try to buy this one over in Bristol, this one up outside of Cincinnati for $500 if they'll pull it, and set it in this car. There's really no sense in doing all that work. That means we'll have to put this terrible Chinese engine lift together, unfortunately. But there's no sense in me putting all this. We might be able to drop this out from under the bottom. I'm not sure. I'll have to look see the easiest way to do these. But there's no sense in me putting $100 worth of rings in this, honing it, buying, and probably end up having to replace the time chain even though that one's tight, gaskets, all that stuff. I probably could get the exhaust manifold with the car when I buy the engine and have $500 in it, and I have about $1,000 in this car. So, you know, and then I'll be able to sell it for whatever the book is, list it for whatever the book is, and sell it from there. So, yeah, probably go that route. There's no sense in putting $200 or $300 in this engine when I can buy one that runs and drives for $500 and still get $200 or $300 of parts out of this one. Because we can scrap, eBay, whatever. Like this head is good. The injector rails are good. I don't know how much we'll get with the other engine, but I'm saying we got a good valve cover. We got a good intake. We got good cams. You know, all that's really bad on this one's the block. So I guess that's this video for now. I guess we're on a standstill on this car until we get us an engine. because there's really no sense in putting, like I said, that money in that engine. We'll try to make sure we cap the air conditioning system and take the compressor off so we don't pull it out. We'll have a lot of good parts left over from this one too. Like I said, we can sell and reuse what we need. So everything's pretty much there. It's just we're going to have to get an engine. So what else can we do to this thing till then? I know we can pull the battery out and charge it up. We can go ahead and start pulling parts out of it, but I really don't see the point right now. I just see what the best way to take one of these out anyway. Realistically, if it's easier to take it out from the bottom, I'll do that. We can go ahead and pull this air hose off, you know, a little bit of this stuff, and get it out of our way for now. Lay it out of the way. So we might do that right quick till I get tired. Said this little thing is completely rust free. You know, you can see a little bit of surface rust on that master cylinder, but the only speck of rust I found in the whole car, and I've had it up and under it and everything, there is a spot right here that's just barely starting. And I'll probably just spray some rust capillator on it, or that cap stuff on it for now. If it ever did rust out, that'd be a real easy fix. You wouldn't even have to worry about painting it that much. That's the only speck of rust I found on this whole car. You can see up under the frame and stuff back here where these guys rot out. It's fine. The cross control arms, they got some surface on them, but it's all fairly solid. Now, we will have to probably have to have the brake rotors turned, put new pads on it, and then I don't know how the lines are. Said I don't know how good these tires will be. If they won't hold up, you know, or if they got bad flat spots, we'll go ahead and change these tires and find some cheap tires used or whatever we got to do to put on it just to make it a good driver. Shocks and the struts all seem good. These little things need the seals replaced. I saw that they were getting water in them, and I don't know how they come out. I'd imagine inner fender has to come out unless you can get them from inside the door. And you know, it's got some garbage and stuff in it. It needs to come out of here. But you know, and we'll let Andy detail it if he will. He didn't detail the 72 the other day, so there's that. It's got a decent radio and all that stuff. Cool, weird thing about these cars, they won't come out of gear until you put power to the battery. I had to put jumper cables on it to get this thing to come out of gear. And we got a bunch of junk sitting in the back that needs to go upstairs, and it's just laid in here where we're cleaning other stuff up. So see, this side is not rusty. Well, a little bit right there. And we'll sand that off and put some paint on it. Yeah, a little bit right there. It's not bad though. We'll put some of that rust capillator on both of them and put some white paint on it. So, I mean, this is an 05 and it's in that clean of shape, so that's pretty good, other than the engine. And obviously this engine looks like to me they just did not take care of it. What I can see, from everything I can see, it looks like to me that they've let this engine just... See, that's another reason we need to take some of this stuff off. See all that pollen down in there? We need to get that out of there. All this stuff. We'll have to get it out. That's weird. Vacuum lines, how they tee into those brakes. That's weird. It's different. Yeah, we'll have to get this stuff off there and take it out for now. Put it over here on the side and stack it up in a pile. All that fun stuff. And pull this motor out of this thing. Unfortunately, we can go ahead and pull that vacuum line out. There's that. And like I said, I might go ahead and take these fuel rails off just because I'm sitting here looking at it bored. They're looking me in the face. So yeah. But you know, I'm not gonna be able to do that with a camera in my hands. I was going to get something with more leverage. Like I said, I don't know what they'll give us with a new engine when we buy it used. I'm sure they'll probably just take it straight out. Most people do when they buy one used out of a wrecked car like that, unless it's a junkyard which wants to keep everything. But, you know, we're buying it off somebody. So, we got them two fuel rail bolts out. I'll take it out of my finger. Maybe I won't. Bad thing about that is it means we're going to have to get the transmission out. Here, I'll unhook it from the transmission somehow. So I'll put this car up in the air, probably on both the transmission. I don't know if we'll have to take the transmission loose. Front wheel drives are a little different. Yep, there goes the gas. And injector brake. I don't think so. I think it just come loose. There we go. So all that's loose. Yeah, bushings are wore out on them and everything. O-rings need replaced on that one. It's down in there, but that didn't come out either. So yeah, we probably have to put injector O-rings on these if we use it. But like I said, we're going to have all these parts probably left over, because I'm sure whoever takes this out is not going to go pull all the injectors and all that fun stuff. I wouldn't. Not out of a junk car. So, yeah, ain't worried about it tonight. So I just wiped this thing down with a little Windex I had in here, some glass cleaner and a towel, just to see how clean the body is. And it's not washed or waxed or anything, but look at this thing. That's a new car. I mean, I see cars on a lot that's got less. My truck's got more places in it than this car does. Right now my truck's got 2 dents in it and my stuff. So I mean, this is an 05 and it's this clean. It's original paint, everything. So we're crazy not to fix this thing. Yeah, I guess that's as far as we're going to get on this Mazda tonight. I don't know if we'll make this one video or two. We'll have to see. I was afraid this would be the issue with it. So, that's it. 05 Mazda Tribute. What's wrong with it? We know. Bad rings. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. So right after I finished the video on this, figuring out what was wrong with the engine, we had some real bad stuff going on. My father-in-law passed away like the next night. So it's been kind of a rough time. I loved him very much. He was a big fan of my stuff here too. So, you know, he was an awesome guy. And I'm not trying to do this for pity or anything like that. I'm just telling you all that may not have, I'll have videos out, but they're not, I'm not probably gonna have one where I'm pulling this engine and all this stuff out as quick as I thought I would. I am going to get one for it. It's actually where I'm going today, and I'll probably take you with me on that. But you know, if you can, just pray for my wife and me too, and all my family. If you pray or whatever you do, you know, I appreciate it. You know, just thank y'all for watching and everything and all that. I mean, it's just been a rough time here at the Jeffreyrigged household. So I appreciate you guys, and I miss you, Glenn. I love you.